So we did most recently get the latest storm surge forecast from the National Hurricane Center that accounts for the slightly easterly shift. We're still in the cone of concern. We're still going to see a serious major hurricane along our coastline during the day tomorrow. But along I-75 and along Highway 301, you guys will see a little bit less of an effect because of this easterly shift. And it's also dialed down the intensity of the storm surge forecast just a bit, which is good news. We'll take it. This Category 3 hurricane will be about 50 miles off our shore, so the western edge of the eye wall will be brushing up against our shores, bringing us hurricane force winds along the beaches, and of course the storm surge that comes along with that. So let's take a look at the latest predictions for storm surge. The red indicates 6 to 9 feet of storm surge, and so that's what they have dialed it down to for a lot of Jacksonville Beach. Let's start in Duval, then we'll go north, and then we'll go south. We're going to get to everybody in their storm surge because this has changed with that westerly shift for a lot of folks. And so red is 6 to 9 feet, and so right along the beaches, that's what we're expecting. The fuchsia color, the pink, is a little bit higher than that, 9 to 12 feet. And so in some low-lying areas just to the north of Fort George Island and near Nassau Sound, we do get some higher storm surge there. But the good news is the orange is 3 to 6 feet, and on the western side of the beaches, that's what we're looking at now, stretching from Jacksonville Beach down into Ponte Vedra and Nocatee. And so that has dialed down the forecast for storm surge because of the shift just a notch, and we like it. That's what we like to see. That's what we're hoping for. Now let's zoom into the St. Johns River here. I know a lot of folks live along the St. Johns River. We'll see 3 to 6 feet of storm surge from just past Fort George Island. We're moving closer to the Dames Point Bridge right here. From the Dames Point Bridge into Mill Cove, we're starting to fade that out down into the 1 to 3 foot range. And so Mill Cove will absorb about 2 feet of storm surge as it makes the turn. So Trout River will see about 1 to 3 feet of storm surge. As we make the turn and head downtown, we're in that 1 to 3 feet of storm surge range. And then it's a little confusing because the storm surge potential goes up a bit after you make the turn past downtown near the Fuller Warren Bridge. But think about the winds blowing over this wider river, blowing that storm surge up against the west bank there near NAS Jacks, near Orange Park, near Julington, and it will save Julington Creek just a little bit. Their storm surge forecast has gone down just a little bit, down into that 1 to 3 foot range. But the western side of the St. Johns River headed over into Doctor's Inlet right there, that you will still get that 1 to 3 feet of storm surge. Since we're going south, we'll go south first and then we'll head back up north. So Green Cove Springs in the 1 to 3 foot range, getting a little lighter as you get down towards West Sequoia, getting a little heavier. Got some orange spots on the west side of the World Golf Village as you make your way down towards Bostwick and Hastings, especially where it's so low-lying. You will see some heavy storm surge in that 3 to 6 foot range. So let's slide over to St. Augustine. We do start to see some fuchsia, that pink color, which represents 9 to 12 from Marineland south, especially. You know how boggy it is in some portions of Palm Coast and how low-lying it is and how flooding can be a problem in St. Augustine. St. Augustine is split between 6 to 9 feet of storm surge and 9 to 12 feet of storm surge. Once you make it to the north of St. Augustine up towards Palencia, you're looking at 3 to 6 feet of storm surge. So that's an improvement for Palencia. Nocatee in the same range, all the way up to Ponte Vedra in that 3 to 6 foot storm foot surge. Now, this is not right along the beaches. This is not those, beautiful, expensive homes right along the beaches. You're still in the 6 to 9 foot range, but just off the beaches, you're in the 3 to 6 foot range. Let's head up to southeastern Georgia just quickly because they're still expected to see the worst. Nassau in that 9 to 12 foot range. And unfortunately, we still do have some 12 to 15 foot ranges in southeastern Georgia, particularly in Camden County. That's where we see a lot of boggy areas approaching in between Jekyll Island and Cumberland Island. We'll see a rash of storm surge that will be very damaging. And the same with the Altamaha Sound up into Sapelo, Sea Island, and Brunswick, getting a lot of the worst of the storm surge, but still dialed down just a notch from what we saw earlier thanks to that eastern shift.